welcome back. I'll give you a quick update on what I've been doing. Show you some progress. Hopefully I've made quite a bit in the refinery area. Still have a little more to go. Been working on the trees, the canopy, forest canopy area. I'll show you that, and then I've been making some armatures up the old-fashioned way out of wire. So I'll quickly cover that. So let me show you what I've been doing. Here's the canopy area. We've been making trees. Now this is one, the previous video, the box that the canopy trees came in. This is one box load. I've actually ordered a second box, and I'm going to finish this area up in through this in here. So I'll show you more progress on that when we get that covered. Here's the refinery area. I finally got the blacktop completed out, the stone area put around. I'm going to add a little more detail into the rock there, darken some spots up. Got the tanks, storage tanks in for the truck area. Picked up a heat exchanger. Got that off of Shapeways. I want to detail this out and get this installed in the refinery area. Here's the wire that I'm using for the trees, for the armatures. I'm not sure if you can see this piece here, but I'll try to get down here a little. It's 28 gauge, and it actually measure out 28 to 29 thousandths in diameter. It's fairly easy to bend and twist, but one of the problems is that it will poke you and it will draw blood. Just a little bit, but you'll know you've been poked. So I'm going to cut, I generally start off by cutting about 12 of these. I've taken those wires, I've cut these 12-inch long ones anywhere between 10 and 14. Find the middle and bend those down. This is, seen these done in a lot of YouTube videos. I'm just kind of going over the end scale size. The trees I'd make are anywhere between 2.5 inches to 3.5 inches tall. That's somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 feet. So we've got those. And we've got is a real small, anything with I can twist with. You can even take a pair of pliers and put on here. Go about halfway up. Grab a hold of these. These will be your trunk. And stick the screwdriver in there and twist away. And if you hear a cat in the background, it's not cruel and unusual punishment, but I have to keep her out. For some reason, she is fascinated with this wire. So anyway, so we have the trunk there. Now, little shorter ones I make, I'll cut about 8-inch long wires. Use somewhere around 8 to 10 of those wires in one of these. So and then from here, we're just going to take a group of these, we're going to twist them, and I'll show you that when I get back. Now I've got all the branches formed. Come in and just split these. We'll make these single ones. I'll take my little nippers and go around and just cut these off at random length to make little single branches out of them, and then we'll form those up. Here I've clipped all the ends once I've gotten down to little single wires sticking out. Oh, just anywhere from 3/8 of an inch out to 1/2 inch, maybe a touch bit longer. Those will be the little single branches that'll be there. Then what I took a little bit of super glue and just did the trunk down here just to kind of help hold that together. This bottom piece I'm going to actually cut off with a pair of wire cutters once I've got everything completed. So the next step is to apply a little bit of rubber latex to it. I just have some liquid latex here I got off of Amazon. Well, Woodland Scenics has this latex rubber. It's about 3 or 4 times this quantity and about $24, $24. It was just more than what I needed, so I just picked this up. I think it was on Amazon. Everything else comes from Amazon, but I actually have one of my smaller armatures here. And the nice part about the latex is that once we even get it made, we can still bend it around and it's flexible. But I use a toothpick and just kind of spread this around on here. In fact, sometimes you can just take it and dip it in there and then wipe off the big globs. And all we want to do is fatten the limbs up and the trunk. I come back, I normally do 2 coats to get this on, and it doesn't have to look pretty. Sometimes for the trunk area I'll use 3 to kind of fatten it up a little bit more, so just to get some of that spread around there. This will actually dry clear, and you can speed the process up by using a hair dryer. So there we have it, kind of spread around there, and we'll get back. I'll get a second and a third coat on here, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the next step. Here we have the armature with the second coat of latex on it, and you can see it's fattened up quite a bit. Now I'm going to take that, and you can use a brown primer. I like to use the camouflage from Krylon. Okay, I've painted the armature with some camouflage paint from Krylon, and then I go back, kind of brown up. I'll use a acrylic darker brown paint on the trunk area. Just paint that up. If you're using a HO or larger or whatever, and that trunk's quite a bit bigger, sometimes it looks nice if you come back with some real light gray, just dry brush, highlight the trunk a little bit, give it a few. So I've removed the bottom portion of it, and also there what can be done, if you want to, you can actually cut that and spread those bottom pieces out and leave a few straight down, but make them come up a ways. But that could be your root system if you wanted it to kind of spread out. Luke Townsend has a great video on how he did that. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is I've got some polyfiber from Woodland Scenics. Taken some and I've really stretched it out, made it thin, and we're going to kind of drape that over it. And then you can either use the tacky glue or a spray adhesive. I've done it with both, and they both work out quite well. So to hold the polyfiber to the top of there. So let me do that, and I'll be back. Okay, and here we have, I used the spray adhesive this time on it, and just keep it light and airy. And now I use the hairspray, and a little bit of ground cover, the fine green, and a little bit of burnt grass to lightly fill this in. And I'll do that and be right back. And here is the final results. Say a little bit of the green cover. I sprinkle a little bit on the bottom and come back with very light, just some highlights. Use the burnt grass to give it some highlights there. And here's one of the trees on the layout. And here are some of the trees that I made up. Okay, well that kind of wraps up the tree making, and now I'm going to go plant a few of these on the layout. I hope I've given you a few tips in the end scale side of things. There's quite a few videos on how to make those trees, the wire armatures, and get the leaves on there. Got some more work still to do in the refinery area, the junkyard. Just not quite happy with that. I've got to figure out what I'm going to do over there. But I sure appreciate you watching. I want to wish you a very best of holidays coming, and hope to see you next time.